Scaling your business from 5K months to 10K months as a mortgage and financial advisor is actually really easy. It's just implementing 3 consistent steps daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly to make everything more predictable and more consistent, to remove the feast and famine from your leads, from your appointments, and from your sales. If you didn't watch last week's episode about going from 0 to 5K, then I would urge you to go back and watch it. Even if you are consistently over 5K per month, there's going to be some foundational principles that you need to go away and implement into your business to get yourself more consistency. Now, one thing I didn't reference in last week was referrals and recommendations. They are absolutely key to any single business. If you could get one client to refer you one more prospect, you've literally doubled your business in an instant. And the challenge with referrals and recommendations is their inconsistency. They're not predictable. And whilst you can build a business, and I believe get to 5K really easy, following the steps that I spoke to you about last week, doubling from 5 to 10K requires more working on the business. It requires an entirely different mindset and skill set to double and make that jump, which is what I'm going to walk you through in these 3 principal steps to ensure that you're doing the right things at the right time to grow your business. Because going from 10K to 20K is even easier, because it's all about just turning up the dials. So when you get the foundational principles and the 3 steps right from 0 to 5, and then build on that from 5 to 10 with what we're going to cover today, your scaling journey and your freedom literally becomes so much easier. So to recap on last week, you've got a consistent audience that you're regularly speaking to. You're maximizing the value of every appointment and every prospect, and you're following up with those individuals consistently. And you're also managing your time way better by treating things like an appointment and having some basic systemization that removes the repetition. Going from 5 to 10 requires, number 1, building some form of lead generation engine that makes your business more predictable. Referrals come with an unfair advantage because someone you've done a good service for has recommended you to somebody else. There's almost no friction and no resistance to using you. You convert at a much higher level than you would from any other form of content. This is one of the reasons why I love social media, because through building content, through building trust, through creating an audience of ideal niche clients, they will begin to feel like they already know you, and that organic content becomes as good as a referral and a recommendation. I get people messaging me on socials all the time saying, I've been referred by such and such a person that I've never even done a mortgage for. They've just seen the consistency in the content. What you have to do to go from the next level, to build that engine, is to start having tech involved. This is all about converting your inbound signals of interest into a funnel. It's about capturing contact details. I've done many an episode on here about lead magnets. If you go and search the channel, find the lead magnet episodes. We'll put a little image here so you can see what the thumbnail looks like, but that will help you to understand this key principle. If you're not capturing people early in the journey, you're not building a list of individuals, then you're always going to be struggling on the back end. We get so many people who join our email list 1, 2, 3, 5 years ago that we do not have any communication or contact with until all of a sudden, through an email marketing campaign, they go and book themselves into one of my advisors' diaries. There are people at different stages of the customer journey. If your early repayment charge letter has just landed on your desk, if your pension letter, where it's saying that you're going to be losing money in your pension, has just landed on your desk, all of a sudden that's a much higher priority than somebody whose ERC is 5 years away, as someone who's changing job and thinking about investing for their future in another couple of years' time, or got a child on the way or something like that. The earlier you can capture people, the more you'll be able to build a relationship with them. This is all about efficiently and effectively converting your content into leads. A lead is someone who has just simply signaled an interest. They're not ready to buy yet. This is 60 to 70% of the market that is out there now currently, knowing they potentially got a problem, looking for some kind of solution, but maybe not doing anything for 6, 12, 18, 24 months. My wife and I currently are looking at houses. We know we want to make a move from a 4-bed to a 5-bed because we've got 5 children. Our early repayment charge has just expired and we've just renewed. So we've got to stick with that same lender. We know we're not going to be moving for probably 1 to 2 years, but we want to start getting an idea of what the values are in the area. We want to start knowing what the properties are going to look like. We want to make sure that we understand what the market is doing and where things are going, how much the size of the garden is, what the square footage of the houses are. All of these things we're doing, but we're not ready to speak to a mortgage advisor yet, for example. We're in the research phase. But if somebody shared with me something valuable related to our area in the houses that we want to buy, what the pound per square footage is, what the commonalities are around that house, if someone had value based on what we wanted to achieve, then I would most likely download that thing. I would most likely go and have a look at that. So what can you create as a lead magnet for people who have got a problem, can provide some kind of solution? Now, a certain percentage of those people who join your email list, who download your lead magnet, are going to be ready to have a conversation. So the key thing that you want to have is a landing page where they can get the thing, a secondary page where they can book an appointment, and a thank you page that gets them to provide more information and pre-fill almost like a mini fact find, some key data around them, perhaps their stage of the journey, perhaps their income that they have. The more information you can capture, the more qualified that lead is going to be, but also importantly, the more you're going to be able to target your email marketing campaigns specifically to those individuals. The more you're going to have data on those people, the better it's going to make your social media content to attract more of those individuals to you. I'm not a fan of just capturing first name, last name, phone number, and email. What I want is, what is the product? What is the service? Have they got a deposit? What's the core information, up to 10 questions that will help me to market to those individuals, that will help me to understand my niche and my prospects better so that I can build more trust and stand out from the competition. The lead magnet, yes, is about capturing information, but it's also about capturing data to improve your marketing and your service to those individuals. Building your email list is hugely undervalued. The more people on your list, the more money you will make over the longer term. Not everybody is going to stay on your list forever. That's okay. If you're adding 10 people per week and 2 people are unsubscribing, you've still got 8 new people. We fundamentally focus on how do we get new people to join the list. A percentage of those will book an appointment. Some of them will come back to us from 3, 6, 9, 12 months ago and book an appointment again. The more the list grows, the more deals we do on the back end. And of course, if we can target people further down the buying journey through better messaging, through clearer content, then of course we're going to get more appointments to leads that are coming into the list. But that's just about having a consistent monthly campaign of focus, which is what you really want to be doing to take things to the next level. To go from 5 to 10, it's about getting leads. It's about nurturing those leads. It's about providing valuable information. It's about building your email list and doing monthly campaigns on a consistent basis to resonate and build that trust. This will stop you having feast and famine of just relying on referrals. This will begin to build a consistent pipeline for the future. You will be able to predictably know, for every 10 leads I get on my list, I'm going to get 2 appointments. If I get 20 people, now I'll get 4 appointments. Data doesn't lie, and the more you start tracking this, the better results you're going to get. Step number 2 is about automating and optimizing your business. This is about delegation so that you can start focusing more on the sales and more on the next stage of your business growth. I am not a fan of bringing a PA or an administrator into your business without first having a consistent sales process that your prospect, your lead, your client goes through, but also without some form of task management and structure where you've got itemized, documented customer journey, systemized step by step where everybody could see it, without having tasks in your diary and in your PA's diary, and without having shared notes relating to the products that you're offering so that you can see exactly what is going on. The biggest fear at this stage of going from 5 to 10 is fear of delegation, is fear of recruitment, and can I afford that PA's salary? Well, I can tell you right now, you can't afford not to have one. I've not had a client work with me or an advisor that I have met that hasn't benefited from bringing a PA in, delegating everything after the application or the sale has been done to focus more on leads and sales. But in order to do that, you need these things. You need your customer journey documented, But importantly, you need automated tasks related to each step of that customer journey. Imagine it like every step of your journey is like recipe for baking a cake. When you follow a recipe, it tells you what to do step by step. So when a product moves into the stage of that journey in the system, automatic tasks or emails or SMSs should be there for your employee to be able to use. You want to now start removing that repetition. This is about taking what we spoke about in systemizing step 3 of 0 to 5K and starting to build that into an actual tech system that you can leverage. We recommend Active CRM. We've got over 67 businesses, I think now, and over 130 users on the platform. But this enables you that when you drag and drop it into that stage, you can automate emails, SMSs, task creation, nurture, follow-up. And that means that my team are following things in the way I want them to be done, but also when there's a problem, we can put a step in or we can create a new stage in the recipe that ensures that problem doesn't happen again. I can log in right now and I can see where every single one of our leads is, where every single one of our prospects are, what's going on at any point in time. If someone phoned up the business, I can look at the notes, and I have complete faith and trust in the process is being managed by the system and the person is managing the system that's managing the process. So CRM is fundamentally vital. Customer relationship management is here where you take your customer from not knowing you to being a follower and a fan and retaining them for the long term. Now, with that foundation laid, you've got rid of your leaky bucket. You can automate your follow-up to those people that aren't ready to buy yet. You can begin to delegate tasks to your admin and to your PA. And many of our clients go and get an admin or a PA within 3 to 6 months of working with us because they get the foundations right. They're able to systemize and scale, and it makes you double your business immediately. Every person that you bring into your business should add an extra 100 grand to your revenue, providing the time that you save as the founder and as the owner is invested into more leads or more sales. We can all go and sit on a beach, but that isn't going to enhance our business. That's going to create more time. So whenever I delegate something, I like to look at how can I create higher value activities and start working on 100 or 1,000 pound tasks instead of 10 pound tasks. And I also like to think about how do I actually want to spend some of my time, because the bigger your business grows, it's actually spending more time on strategizing and planning and thinking than it is actually doing the work, which is a huge mindset shift. But you don't have to worry about that going from 5 to 10K, because here it's about you focusing on the higher value activities. So write a list of all the 10 pound tasks that you are doing and start to create a job for the PA that you want to recruit. After you've got the system ready, they'll be ready to come into that system and you will literally double your business in an instant. This is where you start to operate like a business. This is where you will have more time to work on higher value activities and you will really begin to see the needle move. Going from 5 to 10 is much easier than going from 0 to 5, as long as you put your time, energy, focus and attention into higher pound per hour tasks and activities that drive your business forward. Step number 3 is all about making sure you are maximizing the value of every opportunity. It's also about dialing in to partnerships. This is about sustainability, but also scale. You as the business owner are the best person to position your brand, to position your business, to create new relationships. And it's also why I'm so passionate about you being on the social media channels, being front and center, because you will begin to attract people that want to work with you. I work with a lot of accountants in our brokerage because I'm the face. They see that I've written the Self-Employed Mortgage Guide. It's much easier for us to serve one accountant with 1,000 clients than it is to go out and try and find 1,000 potential self-employed clients. So with your niche, you will be able to attract people directly to you. So the first thing is to make sure that you have all of the right follow-ups for all of the different products and services that you can offer. You need to make sure that you've got referral partners that you can increase the value of those clients and leads that you're dealing with. I mentioned this in the 0 to 5. Start thinking about how you can follow up with people, whether they're looking for a product or service now. It's not necessarily about selling it to them now. It's about making sure that you're building that list and pipeline for the future. Annual reviews are fundamentally key to just catch up with your clients. Making sure that you're offering the home insurance, making sure that you are talking about the health insurance or their hobbies and their individual circumstances. circumstances. Going from 5 to 10 is about utilizing technology as much as possible to make that happen and seeing where you can plug the gaps in the leaky bucket and ensure that every client is being maximized to the nth degree. At this level, going from 5 to 10 is about taking a proportion of the time that you used to invest in admin and in back-end stuff that you've delegated to your PA administrator and starting to reach out to new referral partners. Who has access to your niche that you can build a relationship with? You want to be focusing on building 2 to 5 relationships with potential introducers, partners, referrers. If you can start getting 2, 3, 4 mortgages per week, per month, per quarter, from somewhere else where you're providing a valuable service, not necessarily the estate agent. Everybody thinks to go to estate agents. As I mentioned, we do a lot of work with accountants, tax specialists, divorce lawyers. Now, where are potential opportunities to get leads and clients passed to you? 2 to 5 referrers can be fantastic at taking your business to that next level. And you need to allocate that time in your diary to do the proactive work, to reach out to those individuals, to create those relationships, to nurture those relationships. And it's a numbers game. Much like you need to speak to 10 leads to get a couple of appointments, to do a couple of deals, it's the same thing. If you're only reaching out to one referral partner every week, it's going to take you a long time to get someone who says yes. If you spoke to 100 in a month, guess what? You're going to have a significant number of people. So allocate this as a high value, high priority activity to take your business to the next level. And here's a quick hack. Look at who's engaging on your social media content. Look who you could connect with that would be interested in your content because they are in the same niche as you. That is a real simple way to build relationships and build connections. The third thing is you need to start managing your numbers, whether it's your written business to application and completed business, or whether it's your weekly leads, appointments, people that are proceeding and deals that you're doing. Data doesn't lie. The more you know your numbers at this point, the easier it's going to be to start doubling your revenue. You need clear profit and loss and management accounts from your Xero or your QuickBooks accounting. You need to know the number of people that you're speaking to every week. You need to know the number of deals that you're doing. You need to know the average sale value. You need to know what your capacity is as a team of 1 going to a team of 2, potentially becoming a team of 3. At 10K per month, you should easily be a team of 2. You should be pushing beyond that to potentially 15 to 20K per month once that individual is set and structured into the business. 2 people, in my opinion, should be doing between 150,000 in revenue and 250,000 in revenue, providing you are both focusing on the right tasks for you at the right stages and you know exactly what your numbers are. And from there on, it should be very, very easy to double the business consistently by recruiting the right people, by creating more time and focusing on those higher value activities. So in summary, make sure you are maximizing the value of every opportunity. You're leveraging your technology to do the follow-up and do the nurture. You're reaching out consistently to new referral partners and introducers, and you know your numbers, whether it's the number of introducers you're calling and how many appointments that's turning to, or whether it's the number of leads and prospects that you're calling and how many appointments that is turning to. This stage of 10 grand is still a very time and labor intensive part of the job. But as you start to grow and double from here, you'll start to see that you're able to create more time and more freedom as you start to move through the stages of the journey thereafter. This is about making sure you don't start from scratch every single month. This is about making sure you've got momentum, that you've got multiple streams of leads, that you're out building relationships and making new connections. One of the ways in which I actually did this was through doing a lot of public speaking at property networks and at business events, all around getting a mortgage as a self-employed individual, business owner or property investor. So maybe instead of some in the networking events, you can start to utilize your public speaking, your lead magnet as a means to create new relationships and gain new introducers and referrals. You need to be out there creating the demand for your business. And in doing that, you'll easily be able to move your business from 5 to 10 and then doubling it to 20 thereafter. To hit 10K a month consistently, you want to be focusing on attracting better quality leads, building your email list. You want to make sure that you've automated and delegated all those repetitive, boring tasks that don't make you money. Think £100 task, not £10 task. and you need to be building some form of recurring revenue, some predictability to upselling additional products and starting to work with people who have access to your ideal client. Those simple steps, once again, are just about discipline and consistency and making sure that you do them over and over again. It's going to be hard, it's going to be a challenge, but once you break that barrier of £10,000 per month, then everything in business should become much easier thereafter. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I would love for you to comment below with what your issues, problems, challenges, or difficulties are at this stage of the journey. Maybe you need more information on something that I referenced either in this video or last week's video, so make sure that you do comment on these videos to keep the conversation going, because I really want to help you to go from 0 to 5 and 5 to 10, so we can help you within Systemize and Scale to double your revenue and double your freedom, like many of our clients are doing consistently month in, month out. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week.